Welcome to Sports from the Couch.
I gotta say, it's the stupidest thing in sports.
With your host, Mike Mercado.
Players cannot stand him. Coaches cannot stand him. Most importantly, the fans can't stand him.
Brought to you by Mercado Airwaves.
I'm gonna say it once, and hopefully I'm wrong, but it's a disaster waiting to happen.
That is so bad, that is absolutely brutal.
Hello and welcome in, friends, to another edition of Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, and I want to thank you so much for making us a part of your day. And boy, oh boy, the White Sox are good, but they can't seem to stay out of the news, and more specifically, their manager, Tony La Russa. We got to talk about the craziness that is happening right now on the south side of Chicago. We should be celebrating a really good baseball team. Instead, we got to talk about stupid, unwritten rules in baseball once again, and a manager who might be out of touch with his roster. But before we get to all that, let's take care of some housekeeping notes. You can follow me all over the universe. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media, Instagram Mike Mercado Media, and be interactive with the show on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. Like, rate, review, and shares wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. We have brand new swag at Teespring, teespring.com/Mercado Airwaves, and brand new Patreon tiers if you would like to produce and support the network at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. You can watch the video version of the podcast on youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. Please like, rate, and subscribe to us over there. And of course, give us a like on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. So let's get right into it, guys. You know what happened between your main Mercedes and the Minnesota Twins. You're up big. You have a 3-0 count, and he crushed the ball 400 feet. He hit it off a positional player, and gets thrown at the next game. But that's not why we're here. We know the scenarios. We know how it played out. The real problem becomes what the manager, the Hall of Fame guy, the man that your owner went out of his way to undercut both Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn, who have built this awesome team that went to the playoffs, that have all the good vibes, to bring back this guy who was out of baseball for 10 years. And I know, going into this season, a lot of people thought I was maybe a little too harsh on the White Sox. Then maybe I was blinded because of being a Cub fan all these years. And then obviously just kind of having some differential thoughts on the way things are ran between a guy like Tony La Russa and a person like myself. But I was willing to say this is a man that's won World Series. He knows what he's doing. He's been part of the game. Maybe he's evolved. That might not be the case. So we're just going to kind of have a conversation. You guys know I've been covering sports for forever now, here on Sports from the Couch, and more specifically on Mercado Airwaves. And a lot of you know, played a lot of sports as, a child all the way through high school, including baseball. Love baseball. Played third base. Played right field because I was slow. But couldn't hit for a lick, by the way. So I wasn't some superstar, but, I know baseball. I love baseball. I know the unwritten rules, the stupid unwritten rules. So I have an appreciation for some of the things that are being said when it comes to, your main going and missing a sign by Tony. I get that. And I understand discipline. I understand etiquette. But the stupidity, and that's what it is, of the unwritten rules of baseball, and the nonsense, the roadblock, the headache that this ownership, more specifically Jerry Reinsdorf, did by hiring Tony La Russa, because, he's loyal to a fault. That's what everybody keeps saying, as if that's a good thing. They've done all this. There's so much to talk about. So what I also wanted to do is I actually pulled up, I have my notes, but I also got some audio that we can listen to, and there's a lot of tweets, a lot of different things on social media. So this is Tony talking about what was going on through that game when your main hit that home run. Here we go.
That's the umpire's opinion. Going obvious to me. Guy threw a sinker and, it didn't look good. So I wasn't that suspicious. I'm suspicious somebody throws at somebody's head. And then I'm not suspicious. So I don't have a problem with how the Twins handled that.
Okay, I didn't want to hit that so early, but that was him responding to the Twins throwing at him. The manager responding to one of his guys getting thrown at because he hits a home run in a professional baseball game that was still going on. He didn't tell the Minnesota Twins to put a positional player out there to wave the white flag because they thought that game was over with. And that's how the manager responded. If you couldn't hear, basically saying he's giving them the benefit of the doubt. It might have been a sinker. He doesn't read minds. And we'll get into the stupidity, again, the word of the day, of throwing at a person in today's baseball where these guys got cannon for arms. As if it doesn't hurt or isn't going to break bones. We'll get into all that. That really upsets me. But that's how Tony La Russa, Hall of Fame guy, responded. This was what led to that. This is what made it okay for the Twins to throw at his own guy. Listen to this.
At the ballpark, if you had been at the ballpark, just by the time the guy started making the pitch, I took several steps from the dugout onto the field yelling, take, take, take. Because just the way he was set up, I looked to me like he was going to swing. And the whole time he's around the bases, I'm out there and I was upset because that's not a time to swing 3-0. And, I happened to look over there and I know the Twins knew that I was upset. Joe had given him the take sign. I just think Yermin was locked into he and Astudillo. They know each other from different competitions. And he was locked in and really he just, I got to get him. But he missed a 3-0 hit sign with that kind of lead. That's just, it's not over. That's just sportsmanship, respect for the game, respect for your opponent. He made a mistake. So, there'll be a consequence that he has to endure here within our family. But it won't happen again because, Joe will be on the lookout and I will be too, and we'll go running in front of the pitcher. We have to. No, he's not going to do that again. I heard he says something like, I played my game, but no, he doesn't. He plays the game of Major League Baseball that respects the game, respects the opponents, and that was not. And he's got to respect the signs. When he gets to take sign, he takes. And it's a learning experience. Made a mistake. I actually apologized to the Twins. I sent the message over there, not acceptable, and and I'm certain that will not happen again with Yermin. There's a sportsmanship, respect for the game, respect for your opponent that's real. It has to be the philosophy. We follow it. I've been taught it. And, the fact that he's a rookie who's excited helps explain why he just was clueless. But now he's got a clue.
Okay, did you just hear that? I was trying so hard not to explode. First of all, he called his own guy clueless. He apologized to the Minnesota Twins. That's not how we play baseball. It won't happen again. This is the guy, the owner of this team brought in. For what reason? Was anybody knocking at the door of Tony La Russa to come back and fix their organization? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It was a disgrace. That is an absolute disgrace. Here, let's listen to once again the response. Now that we have that in context, let's listen again to his response after they threw at his guy. Mind you, sportsmanship. Before we get to the response one more time, sportsmanship. So the people we talk about getting plunked on the butt or behind themselves have never had somebody throw at them really hard. An object that can, kill you. Let me ask you something. That sinker that was going away, that's still traveling, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour? Who knows, right? Just anything over 20. What if it hits a pinky toe? What if it hits the ankle? What if it hits the kneecap? What if it hits the elbow? What if it hits the orbital bone? What if it hits the back of the head? Because, by the way, a lot of you who've never played baseball, your natural reaction is to fall backwards. Fall backwards when you're afraid of getting hit by the ball. That's sportsmanship. That's good baseball, according to Tony La Russa. What his guy did was clueless. No, Tony, what's clueless is having DUIs when you have millions of dollars like you do. That's clueless. What's clueless is running an organization that has been known to have abuse allegations. Tony? Oh, and let's talk about that for a second. People holding water because he helps animal shelters. John Wayne Gacy used to do parties and promotions for police officers in the community as a clown. So take that and go somewhere else with it. People do nice things, so that makes him a good person. This is the same man who on his introduction press conference said he's going to judge the sincerity of his players and their message. That is the man that the owner of this team brought in for no reason. For friendship? To make things right from 35 years ago? Let's listen to him once again, knowing after his guy was thrown at.
It's the umpire's opinion. Going obvious to me. Guy threw a sinker and, it didn't look good. So I wasn't that suspicious. I'm suspicious somebody throws at somebody's head. And then I'm not suspicious. So I don't have a problem with how Twins handle that.
Then, if that wasn't bad enough, just today, before their afternoon game, and we're recording this on May 19, 2021 in the beautiful city of Chicago, here on Sports from the Couch with Mike Mercado on Mercado Airwaves. Lance Lynn, a man who's won a World Series with Tony, basically said the Twins gave up. They lost all the right to complain about etiquette and unwritten rules when they did that, when they put a position player on. So how does Tony respond? Listen, I have it right here. This is unbelievable. He has a locker. I have an office. That's how the man who's supposed to be the leader of this clubhouse of other men responded. That's why he has a locker and I have an office. Why would anybody want to play for this man? Why would anybody want to grind through the horrible dog days of summer into the grind of September just to get to October and maybe win a World Series for this man? And look at actions and words speak very loud, even in the most minute, subtle way. Go on social media. Look how people are talking. And the fact that consistently here, the media in Chicago has to tell Tony how his players are feeling because he has no relationship with them. That is the man that the owner brought in for no reason. I don't know what else you can say. And we could go a little bit on these unwritten rules of baseball. Again, etiquette is needed in all sports. So is sportsmanship. But that is the response, right? Like, if somebody is going to ham it up after hitting a home run off of you, then it's fair game that you ham it up towards them. What isn't fair game is to throw a deadly object 99 miles per hour towards a human being. And again, for all the fake tough people, you go do it. Go pull Adam Sandler and just get into the batting cage and just let them start nailing you. And here's the thing, right? Sanctity of the sport, unwritten rules. Your main Mercedes is trying to play for his job, his livelihood. And the hypocrisy. If this was Tim Anderson or Jose Abreu, would he say the same thing? Would he say the same thing if this wasn't a rookie? Time after time, Tony La Russa has found a way to take 2 steps forward, 8 steps backwards. And it's a shame for White Sox fans that at this point, which should be an exciting team, an exciting future, you can't enjoy. Or if you do, it's in spite of the manager. This clubhouse is good enough to win. But it should be unacceptable that now the thought is this team has to win in spite of ownership, in spite of the managers, and hell, the front office is complicit. Do I think that both Kenny and Rick got cut underneath them, got their legs cut off from them? Yeah. But they're not saying anything. They're not doing anything. And maybe they're just looking for their way out. But all of this was avoidable. All of this. And it's the hypocrisy of this sport. We're here in Chicago. Anthony Rizzo strikes out Freddie Freeman. Yay. How fun. How's the gimmick? My team has lost by 10 runs, but yay, a first baseman did that. But it's disrespectful for the other guy who gets paid a lot of money, whose job is on the line, who doesn't want to get embarrassed. He has a response. And here's another thing. I would love to see people be able to take a 46-mile-an-hour pitch and drive it 400 feet. You play the game until the end. If you decide to give up, that's on you. And just because your season's in the tank because you're crap, doesn't mean you should take the other teams with you. It's bad enough the manager's trying to do that already to this White Sox team. And the unwritten rules of baseball, again, showing the ass of Major League Baseball. Let's go to the comments. We got some people who got things they want to say, and just the emotions are high right now. This is from Gonzalito, the cousin. My comments on them stay the same, consistent, primo, even if they're having a solid season. I love you. You're one of the best trolls in the business. Keep doing you, kid. Dean Vaccarino, talk about baseball, the cohort to third base with me. That's my guy, D-Vac. If the other team has such a problem with it, they should have forfeited the game. Russa is an arrogant dinosaur. He's arrogant, he's dismissive, and he's out of touch. Is he a great manager in the pantheon of the sport? Absolutely, with amongst the other great managers. Is he undoubtedly a winner in this sport? Of course. That does not mean that he knows the game now. He was old 10 years ago, and there's nothing wrong with age. Experience is wonderful. But when you're this out of touch and you're not willing to evolve, that's the difference. We've seen old managers succeed that are willing to go with the times. Look at Joe Madden locally. We talk about it where it's like, yeah, we don't have to agree with everything about him, but there is some comfort in knowing that this is a dude you could talk with on some level. Hell, Ozzie Guillen even mentioned it, where on Comcast, NBC Sports, where I don't have to like it, but I'm going to defend my guy and make sure you don't do that. And that's evolving and being behind your guys that have your logo that are being paid by the same people with the same goal in mind. Elrod, Luis Rodriguez, go White Sox. Absolutely. I hope you guys are still having fun. As a Cub fan, I love that the Cubs are 500 and they seem to be progressing in some form or fashion. But hopefully you guys are still enjoying this season. Maybe go out to a game. Or maybe don't. Don't support them that way and just support this crew by watching them. From our boy, Sean Anderson, Tony won't last. The players don't support him and his old-fashioned ways. This is the thing about Russa, though. Who's his boss? Think about it. His bosses aren't Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn. It's Jerry. And, of course, all of us being Bulls fans or being White Sox fans or just being in the city of Chicago, you know that man is not going to fire anybody. He's not going to get rid of anybody unless truly that Rome is falling down and everything's on fire. I'm talking Game of Thrones style. Tony's not going anywhere. Now, wishful thinking, right? Like a lot of us could be hoping, even if we're not White Sox fans, be like, damn, if y'all going to lose, lose on your own. You don't need this type of distraction. This is just bad. Maybe you wake up after the All-Star break and Tony's like, yeah, I got to go away for health reasons. But then what? You put yourself behind the 8 ball because all the good managers are gone. And you decided that you were going to be the smartest team in the room and hire Tony back. I mean, it is bad. It is next level on how this all broke down. And just how nonsensical it is. Because you could have avoided it. But I mean, I've ranted about it enough. We'll see how it plays out. And go figure, they lost last night. They blew the lead. I don't know. And look, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be sportsmanship and etiquette and all that is true. But there's ways within the games. There's ways that you could respond. But you don't go after somebody's knees or head in football, hockey. You don't put your foot underneath somebody's feet when they're jumping in the air. And you don't throw at somebody that hard anymore in baseball. You just don't. And this White Sox team and these White Sox fans deserve better. All kidding aside, when we're giving each other crap, they don't deserve this. Just because their owner is clueless at this point. And look, the thing that I would draw some hope in is that the Bulls have made some serious change. But that serious change happened before they did this with Tony. So what lessons were learned? And I want to know your feelings. I want to know your thoughts. You're legit. If you're upset that your main did miss the sign, that's understandable. And look, you should be reprimanded, or even though there shouldn't have been a hold on 3-0, like take the pitch, that's garbage. But if that's the call and he missed it, fine. Okay, cool. Talk to him behind the scenes. Train him. Mentor him. Develop him. Don't go on and say, we're sorry, I apologize, he's clueless. It's okay to throw at him. Because don't forget, the Twins respond and be like, yeah, that apology may not be enough. We're still fuming. And the Twins could go bunk sand, by the way. But I want to know your thoughts. Let me know how this played out. I'm all over the socials on Twitter at Mike M Media, Instagram, Mike Mercado Media. You can follow the show on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. How did Tony handle this? How did your main handle this? Do you think this is going to be something that's, might hurt the team long term? Will this be something that really affects them and causes them a chance at the World Series? But with that, guys, that will do it for us here on Sports from the Couch on Mercado Airwaves. I almost died. That's how worked up I am about this Tony La Russa nonsense and garbage with the White Sox. But let me know your thoughts. Please like, rate, review, and share us wherever you get your favorite podcasts at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. There you can see how I almost drowned in my own spit. And of course on Facebook, facebook.com/Mercado Airwaves. We have swag, teespring.com/Mercado Airwaves. And we have brand new tiers that you could produce and support us here at Mercado Airwaves and the Gone Missing Podcast at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Enjoy all the games. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm Mike Mercado.